All right, MJ, so when people walk into your studio, what's the first thing they're going to come in and see? Tell us about all the stuff that they have in here.
Yeah, so when you first come in the studio, you actually see the storefront part. So that's where my products are, but also the products of 13 or 14 different artisans and artists from the Ottawa Valley. Textile artists, metal workers, woodworkers, visual artists, and other potters.
Definitely.
Yeah,
because we got some knives here and some forging stuff here. You were talking about these little booklets here that we had.
Yes, this is a felted journal by Deborah Metzger. She's a Pembroke resident. I also have a few from Jane Corbett, who's a quilter. She's based in Killaloe.
Yep.
I have some of her beautiful quilts here too.
Yes.
Yes.
So, because I guess people just think it's all pottery, but you actually have other stuff other than pottery here.
Yeah.
You have artwork.
Artwork, glasswork, metalwork, woodwork, charcuterie boards, turn bowls, and so like there's a lot of choice. Really, this is a perfect place for a gift, you know, that has a local flavor to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you've also had different things here, like events in the past where you've actually had some of these artisans here to answer questions and show people their products.
Yeah, last November we hosted a Meet the Makers event, and I am planning on doing that again this year.
I was there, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had some spiced cider, hot cider served, and people could come in and ask questions about, you know, what fires up the different artisans and their process, how they go about making things, what inspires them. It was a nice day. Yeah.
Definitely. Tell us a bit about what we're seeing here, some of the pots that we're seeing here.
Yeah, so here you see a lot of my production. The mugs are always good sellers. I use white porcelain, and they're glazed differently. So these ones have a shimmer to it. These are this is my new mug design. We call it the thumbprint design.
That's very cool.
It came like this whole concept came from a commission work, and I really enjoyed making it, and I liked the product. I liked the way it looked at the end, so I figured I would make more of those. And I've got a little bit of Suzanne's tumblers here from Deep River. Okay. Suzanne Davenport at Stonetown Pottery.
Okay.
And this is a charcuterie board.
I was just going to say, it's a charcuterie board, yeah.
From my dad, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and
actually,
we have
it's a bigger one than I'm used to.
Yeah, this one is huge. And we have the forged items from Mike Whitmore in Beachburg from Whitewater.
Mike,
yeah.
And so when you're thinking of stuff like making these, a lot of times is it you have an idea in your head of what you want, or is there a lot of times where you're just like, I'm just going to sit here and see what I make?
No, I start with an idea in mind for a shape.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to gauge like how much clay do I need, and I'm going to give it a go a few times. And once I figure out the recipe, like the height, the width, I make notes.
Okay.
Because if I make a batch today and I want to make another batch in 3 weeks from now, I want my items to be similar.
Okay.
So I always draw the items, take the measurements when they're fresh, because it shrinks.
Yep.
And and I have an idea of what I'm going to be using for a glaze.
Yes.
Because when people approach a pot, they usually notice the glaze first.
Yes.
That's what catches the eye, and then they'll look at the shape.
Okay.
As a potter, we tend to often think of the shape first, and then the glaze comes as an afterthought, or you know, like it comes later in the process.
Sure.
Yeah.
And are you always thinking as a set, or a lot of times you're just thinking of one-offs, like I'm just going to make a bunch of mugs, or do you always have it in mind, instead of a mug, I'm going to have it come with a plate and this and a bowl and all as a set?
Yes, I am going to be producing dinnerware at some point this year.
Yep.
And it's right now I'm making shapes that I find interesting.
Cool.
But I am moving into a direction where we're going to be making plates for place sets.
Okay.
Yes. And so.
No, very cool. So why don't we then, where do you want to take us now?
Well, let's have a look at the classroom.
Let's do that.
Yeah.